Hey guys, so I will. The last one was day 66. Part two of James upsetting people. So, I might count this as day 67. I feel a little bit like cheating. I feel like it's cheating a little bit, but at the same time, gotta do what you gotta do. So, hi there. This is James for day 67 of chronic fatigue syndrome. My friend, my enemy, my constant companion. The lighting. I gotta do something about the lighting, don't I? Like, maybe cover that up. I'm glowing. Yes. It's not the lighting. It's just my natural face. I glow that much on that white. Um, Funny story there later. So, yesterday, I was sharing that I had responded to a comment and hurt some people's feelings, and I may have not expressed myself in the best way, but I didn't. No one calls us out, and people think that support is there's a special word. Enabling. Like people mix up. People sometimes think that they're supporting, but they're just enabling. Okay, and it's not when you're expressing how you're feeling, and then yeah, you want a safe place to be able to express it, but expressing how you feel, and I'm all for that. Like it's awful, and awful doesn't describe it. Awful is weak, as a descriptive word. And now, so if you want to see part one, go watch part one because this will explain. But like, I replied to a comment. I made people unhappy because I don't know. Maybe I just didn't explain it right, or I did it bad, or these people are just in a place. They're not in the same place that I'm at. You know, they may be younger than me and just haven't done what I've done. I don't know. We're all in different places, so but two things came from that. One was people got cranky with James, got upset with James, and you know were saying that I'm an ableist and rah rah. And the second thing that happens with this kind of thing I've noticed in support groups, not that I've caused it to see it, but I see it, is the second thing that happens is people like to start having the easiest way, like if you've got kids, I'm not going to swear right now, but if kids are watching this, I'm just going to swear. It's a pissing contest. The problem with it is it's the contest to see who can get to the bottom the fastest. So people were saying, you know, because of what the person wrote, yes, I understand that if I showed you the post, it would give so much more context and what I'm saying more believable. However, I feel a bit funny about doing that because it was a person sharing it, and I wasn't attacking them, wasn't throwing rocks at them. I was just, the post that they put could be read two ways, but the way it was mainly read was CFS is like this, not I feel like this right now. And I know it's kind of playing on semantics, but it's really important when you're sharing your message with the world and also your internal dialogue with yourself. Super important that you understand, like when you're having that self-dialogue, you know the difference. Anyway, so what happened also was people started going like, James, I've had insomnia for the last, I don't know, X months. I haven't been able to sleep. It's awful. You know, what do you know about it? And then other people are like, you know, some of us can't really walk that well at the moment, James, but maybe you just haven't been there. And other people are saying, you know, you seem to only be looking at one level of ME, which is the other name for chronic fatigue syndrome. You're only looking at one level. Like, what about the other levels? What level are you on? Rah, 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 that kind of thing. Now, the problem with is they don't know who they're talking to. They don't know what I've gone through. So, and this happens, I'll point it in martial art forums as well. I love my martial art forums. You you poke sometimes and you find out it's a, you know, sheep in wolf's clothing. Take away the thing and it's a sheep in there, pretending that they're a, you know, self-thinking individual. Anyway, so what happens is, like, there is no competition with chronic fatigue syndrome. We've all got chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, fibromyalgia syndrome, chronic illness. It sucks, okay? And the whole thing about, like, who is worse and this and that is, one, you just get stuck on the doom spiral. And two, you're competing for the bottom position. It's the bottom position. You know, why do you want to be worse? I'm not saying go out and compete who's better, but why do you want to be worse? What benefit does that bring you? So when someone says to me, and because you have this back and forth, and the thing is, like, someone says to me, oh, James, I haven't slept for a month or two, whatever. They don't know who they're talking to. They don't know that I've gone really huge blocks of the year without sleeping right, so I understand insomnia and all the stuff that comes with it. I understand insomnia, all the stuff that comes with it, and try to function. So I have a really good personal experience with it. And if someone comes at me and says, I can't remember how long this person said, so I'll just pick a low number, which is still ridiculously high. I'll pick a low number. I've had it for a month. And then James comes back and like, okay, I've had it for 7. What do I win by that? And then, you know, as soon as I say that, someone's going to hop back in and go like, well, James, I've had it for 8. And someone's going to hop back in and I've had it for 9. I'm like, guys, who cares? You know, we have something that affects our ability, our energy, and our sleep. I know what insomnia feels like. I know what you're feeling like. What does it matter? And the whole, you know, oh, James, sometimes we can't walk. Really? You can't? And you're like, oh, James, you haven't been there yet. Haven't I? How do you know? How do you know? Just because I don't have a victim mindset, I'm not saying all these people are victim mindsets, but because I don't have a victim mindset and go into a group and share like the really bad string of times and the woe and stuff like that, like, so you don't know it. I don't, just because I don't go on about how bad it is. I mean, the closest I've come to sharing how bad it is was last week or the week before. My day's good. I think it was last week, something like that. And I said to you, hey guys, I'm not having a good day. Or like, hey guys, I've had a bad, like, I shared that I wasn't having a good time, but I didn't need to go into the fact, like, until recently, I wasn't sleeping at all at night, you know, then having maybe 4 hours sleep during the day, and then trying to do life. But see, like, someone could jump in and go like, "Huh, James, you had 4, I had 3." I was like, okay, would you like to know about the time where I was usually averaging on less than 4 hours of sleep spaced out over 3 or 4 days? It's like, James, well, I had no sleep for 4 days. It was like, I'm pretty sure you die or something like that. I can't remember, but you know. So it's just, you don't know who you're talking to. And just because when I'm in front of the camera right now, I seem pretty chipper, as I've pointed out, I've had 25 years of this. I've had 25 years of working on it every day to be able to hide it from the outside world. And also to be able to give myself little mini boosts of face energy so I can interact with the world. As soon as I'm done with this camera, I have the floor, the lounge, the chair behind me, and a bed over there that I can go and hold down. Okay? We have so much woe in our life, you don't need me sharing mine. I have chronic fatigue syndrome, guys. You know I've got it bad. How bad? Is there a measure for chronic fatigue syndrome? I haven't come across it. You know, like, oh, he's got chronic fatigue syndrome, power level 1000. Like, cool, I've got power level 9,000. So what, the more power level you have, the less you do, and like what are we aiming for? You just want someone to go, oh, you're worse than me? So yeah, I'm a bit passionate about this. And that I mean, like, I kind of ruffles my feathers, because the older me would most probably go, just leave it be. But the current me is kind of like, no one calls us out on our nonsense when we're being nonsensical. Everyone, like, there's so many of us who want to be the worst at something that gains no benefits and wants to dwell on. There's a difference between sharing how bad it is for you and going on about a competition that doesn't exist. So yeah, if people are going to get upset with, and that really gets close to a victim mindset, guys. I'm going to call it straight. It's a victim mindset. It's woe is you. You've been beaten up by life. Okay? Where are you going with that? Where are you going with that? You're not going to go anywhere with that. Your mindset, what you kind of choose is ugh. I'm not saying like you can outthink depression and stuff like that, but what I'm getting at is your mind, you can change your mind easier than you could get up and go and do a one-arm push-up, couldn't you? If you decided to change your worldview, that is more accessible to you than going and doing a one-arm push-up. Isn't it? Because your brain is right there. You change your view. I'm not saying it's not I'm not saying it's not easy. I mean, not hard. It's super hard. Super hard. Super hard. But we like, the brain is the thing where you can start affecting a little bit more sooner. I realize I'm going to a very, very shady ground here, so I will stop. Just go back to, we don't need to compete with each other. You have chronic fatigue syndrome. If you've got chronic fatigue syndrome, you have chronic fatigue syndrome. That's pretty awful, okay? Your child has chronic fatigue syndrome. Not only is that awful for your child, but it is awful for you, because you're a parent and you're also a carer now, okay? So that's also awful. We don't need to compete, okay? And we don't need to try and put each other down because we don't know anything about the other person. So my hands explain it all. I would like to wrap this up a little bit more succinctly and possibly coherently, but I feel like I'm going to dig a big hole with the whole mindset thing and how it's easy to change. That would be another video, and it is not my intention to incite another cranky thing, especially as I'm not explaining myself very correctly, as succinctly as I'd like to, as clearly as I'd like to. But we don't need to compete with each other, because it is just a race to the bottom. So thank you very much for letting me share with you day 67, part 2 of James upsetting people. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and leave a comment below. Bye.